I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And then I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when League came to summer and you playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. But you should pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and I running back coach things back to biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
When you're on 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. The Martin Houston Show live fan page on Facebook at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter, Martin Houston Live on YouTube. You can watch us on all of those great channels. Listen to us live, of course, on the radio dial at Tide 109 and download the Tide 109 app and take us with you wherever you go. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. And it is awesome to be with you today because today is game week. It's finally here. The countdown to game week is finally over, and only a few days before Alabama takes on the Miami Hurricanes. And so we got a great show, great week lined up for you. I want to invite you, and I'll be announcing this throughout the week, but going to give away swag pack with the for the Martin Houston Show. We'll be giving away a hat and a mug to the person who's able to get the closest with the score. And we'll be having a tiebreaker with with Bryce Young's passing yards. So if you want to get that in today, you're able to call us up at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904, or you can post your score in chat, and we'll be doing it with a you don't have to hit it exact, but total point breakdown with an over-under type scenario where you can have the tiebreaker once again with Bryce Young. That's the score prediction for Miami versus Alabama. Would love to hear your predictions today. So give us a call or post it on Facebook. And as we move throughout the week, we'll, still have some, we'll bring back and do some of our normals. We'll have players of the game. We'll have MVPs. We'll have offensive, defensive player of the game. So lots to look forward to that now that it's game week. Not a lot of news coming out of the Crimson Tide for the weekend, but thought that I would do something a little different today. And hopefully this works, but bear with me. Nick Saban had like a 25-minute press conference, or not listen to the whole press conference, but it was amazing to go back and look and listen to Nick Saban when he got the job here and what he said he was going to do versus what he's done. And so I'm going to just have a little fun this morning and play probably about 6.5, 7 minutes of that press conference, which is something I normally don't do, but I kept looking for the best breaking point after hearing him join us. And he is so consistent. He hasn't changed. But you're talking about someone setting a goal, setting a standard, and holding us to it. So as we get ready to start off what potentially could be two of the greatest dynasties ever, period, bar none, but definitely two of the greatest dynasties in the modern era going against each other. And the last time that we played Alabama-Miami, we ended their dynasty, and they've had a bleep a blip on the screen once or twice since then, and Alabama clearly the dominant program of this time. They come in with dibs on ending our dynasty. Will it happen? Who knows? But here's Coach Nick Saban talking many, many years ago. Who would have ever thought that we would still be listening to Nick Saban 15 years after this press conference?
I can't tell you how pleased and honored I am to be your coach at the University of Alabama. The spirit and enthusiasm that has been demonstrated to myself and my family has been phenomenal since we arrived here yesterday afternoon. It's certainly appreciated, but I want you to know that it'll be our goal to give you the kind of football program, the kind of football team that you can be proud of, and that will complement the tradition that this institution has been so proud of through the years, and that's going to be our goal as a football program. I'd like to thank Dr. Witt and Mao for extending the wonderful opportunity to my family to be your head coach at the University of Alabama. To the fans and supporters, the boosters, and everybody that's here that loves this program and loves Alabama football, I want everybody to know that we need a lot of positive energy for everybody to make a difference in how we go about what we try to do to have the best football team in the Southeastern Conference, the best football program in the Southeastern Conference. And I think everybody should take the attitude that we're working to be a champion, that we want to be a champion in everything that we do. Every choice, every decision, everything that we do every day, we want to be a champion. Everyone take ownership for what they need to do relative to their role, and whatever it is, whether it's being a fan, being a booster, be a good one. Any kind of supporter that you are for this team, everyone take ownership that we support each other so we can have the best possible football program that Alabama's ever had. And there have been some great ones through the years. But the tradition here is phenomenal, and that's certainly a standard of excellence that we want to work and make our football program a part of. Our mission statement here is to create an atmosphere and environment for everyone to be able to succeed, first of all, as a person. We want players to be more successful in life because they were involved in our program by the principles and values that we're able to develop with them so that they can be successful relative to the character and attitude that they have as a football player here at this institution. The second thing is we want them to be successful with students. I always tell players in recruiting, there's two things that we want you to do here. You got two careers, one on the field and one off the field. And the one on the field means you got to graduate from college, and that's the one that's going to have the greatest impact on the quality of your life forever. So we want to have a great academic support program where we want our players to succeed as students. The third thing is we want to be the best possible football players that they can be. We want every guy here to reach their full potential as a football player, play together as a team, and know how important it is to be a part of a successful team and fulfilling your role to that team. And the last thing is to use all the resources that this institution has to help everyone launch their career when they've represented this institution, when they leave this institution, that we help them launch their careers so they can be most successful in life because of their association with this university and the people that have made this university great. So that's what we want to try to accomplish as the football coach here. Now, expectations. I know there's tremendous expectations here for what you would like to accomplish with this football program. And I can tell you that however you feel about it, I have even higher expectations for what we want to accomplish. I want to win every game we play. I've never gone out to play a game, we've never gone out to play a game where we didn't want to win, and it wasn't important to win, and we didn't focus on winning and put all our energy into winning. But I think it's more important that you're able to take your expectations and bridge them into the process of what it takes to be successful. And I want to use this as an example. And we won a national championship at LSU in 2003. The players developed the goals for the team. And I thought it was interesting that that was the first team that I ever coached that didn't have a goal that was result-oriented. Like go to a New Year's Day bowl game or win the SEC championship or some goal that was result-oriented. But this team, the 5 goals they had nothing to do with winning a game. Didn't say anything about results. The first one was is be a team. Together, everybody can accomplish more. And when I speak to you as fans, boosters, people who love this program, you're a part of that team too. And together we can accomplish more. It takes trust, respect for each other, and what everyone's role is and what they need to do. So that's the first thing that's important, is for us to work together, use all the resources we have to make this everything that it's capable of being. The second thing is work every day to dominate your opponent. And you know, we have an opponent in this state that we work every day, 365 days a year, all right, to dominate. But that's our goal. That's what you get up every day to do, to dominate the people that you have to compete against and play against. Everyone needs to be responsible for their own self-determination. We don't want to point any fingers in any direction other than what we control, what we can do, and I would like for everybody that's associated with this team to do the same thing. Be responsible for what your role is and what you need to do. Be positive to affect the team and your teammates. This is a team's goal, but I'm trying to relate them a little bit to the whole big picture of what we're talking about here. Positively affect your teammates every day in the choices and decisions that you make. And then the last one was be a champion. Now this team did that, and they did what? Won the national championship, and I think that's the kind of process that I think you can expect from us in terms of how we approach what we do. We're not going to talk about what we're going to accomplish. We're going to talk about how we're going to do it. Now, what kind of football team do we want to have here? You know, we want to be a big, physical, aggressive football team that is relentless in the competitive spirit that we go out and play with week in and week out. And what I would like for every football team to do that we play is to sit there and say, I hate playing against these guys. I hate playing them. Their effort, their toughness, their relentless resiliency to go out every play and focus and play the next play and compete in the game for 60 minutes in the game, I can't handle. Can't handle. That's the kind of football team we want. Now that takes a lot of conditioning, it takes a lot of preparation, and it takes a mindset that you're going to play for 60 minutes in the game regardless of what the scoreboard says. And you're going to compete that way throughout the game. You know, I've learned a lot about myself in the last 2 years.
That's Coach Nick Saban, and him in that first press conference. And, you know, just hearing Coach say all of those things that he wanted to accomplish is pretty amazing. What he's been able to accomplish and what he will be able to accomplish. And starting Saturday this year, he gets a chance with the opportunity to take advantage of what's happening with this upcoming game. Alabama has a chance to start another run toward another national championship, to be his second repeat performance. So let's not repeat performance, but back-to-back championships. Can they get it done? We'll talk about that and more right here on the Martin Houston Show. Thanks for being a part. Want to invite you once again to get your score prediction in 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks, but we continue to track Tropical Storm Ida, now moving inland. We expect heavy rain, gusty winds today with possible storms and tornadoes, so stay alert. Just 2 days remain in the hot August sales event at Townsend Nissan. Rebates and low interest rates means it's time to save at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Indeed helps you hire great people fast. Indeed delivers 4 times more hires than all other job sites combined, according to Talent Nest. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
At Target, we know there are a lot of firsts when it comes to going back to school. First impressions, first chapters, first day photos. So with easy and safe ways to shop like order pickup, drive up, and school list assist, make Target your first stop back to school.
Start fall with everything to do business better during Dell Technologies Labor Day event. Save up to 45% on select business PCs with Windows 10 Pro. Power your workday with savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories, plus free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Labor Day event.
Walk-On athletes put everything they've got into the game. Walk-On Sports Bistro puts everything we've got into bringing you game day with a taste of Louisiana. Over 70 big screen TVs, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salad. Made from scratch with ingredients you can't help but crave. Now open in Tuscaloosa, 6785 Skyland Boulevard. Walk-ons.com. Walk-On Sports Bistro. More than a restaurant.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Cloudy and windy with periods of rain through tonight. The rain can be heavy at times. A flash flood watch is in effect. Also, the chance of a few isolated tornadoes. High today 79, the low tonight 70. Tomorrow, occasional showers with a high at 78. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 78 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904. Tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show, and it is game week. So we're looking for predictions for the game. We're looking for your thoughts on the game. Who's going to be the breakout player? We're looking for who's going to be the offensive player of the week, defensive player of the week. We'll be looking for all of those things throughout the week, but we'll definitely be taking your score predictions all week long. Nick Saban is pretty amazing what he said, but at the end of that, he talked about putting together the type of team that would make the other team want to quit, Joe, that says, I'm tired of playing these guys. I don't want to play these guys. I hate playing these guys. Has Bama finally got back to that type of team? Are they the type of team that other teams will not want to play in 2021 for two reasons? One is that the defense has circled back around and caught back up with the offenses. Is this Alabama defense going to be a physical juggernaut? Are they going to be able to play in this modern era of football? Will we see a physically dominant football team? Something that we have not seen on the Crimson Tide sideline in a while. We got better last year, but was that? I've heard some people say that was because the competition was down in the SEC, and Nick Saban handled COVID better than everybody else, and everybody else was off their game. So don't read too much into the success that Alabama's defense had last year, leading the SEC in allowing points and being the number one overall defense. Well, with game week being here, they're going to have, I think, one of their biggest challenges, Joe, of the season potentially, at least in the regular season, when you look at week 1 against Miami, it hasn't been made as big a deal, but the last time these two teams played, 1992, Alabama put an end to the Miami dynasty for all practical purposes. That Miami team that we played, had they won, would have been 3 in a row. 4 out of 5. It was some crazy 4 out of 6 or something. I mean, they were the dominant program of the time when we faced them. As clear as Alabama is the dominant program now, the absolute positivity of what they were able to do, Alabama was able to do in that game, absolutely changed the direction of the Miami program. And barring just a little spike, they had in, I guess, 2000, late 2000, early 2000. I'm sorry, early 2000. Other than that, this program has struggled. Well, this is a way for them to get back on the map. Will they get back on the map against Alabama? And so going into this game, what's Alabama's biggest challenge? What's their biggest challenge that you see going into the game? Is it going against the quarterback, De'Aaron King, a seasoned professional when it comes to not being a professional player, but the amount of experience he's had at the quarterback position, that is huge. So that is absolutely 100% an opportunity for Alabama to end all talk about Miami taking down this dynasty or ending this dynasty or paying the favor back. Can they do it? We'll see. But what's their biggest challenge? All right, let's get to the phone lines. We got Curtis Lewis. Curtis, you're on with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Martin, how's it going, buddy?
Good. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. Yeah, I've always seen teams to take on the personality of their coaches.
Uh-huh.
Especially on defense, because it's almost like I've never seen a mouthy coach have a ferocious defense. No matter how good they are, they're just not ferocious. Whereas you can see a crazy person have a defense that just about kill you, like Pruitt. Pro seem to be having one screw just seems to be just a little loose. Playing that way, especially in 2016. People didn't want to play Bama at that point, but before Pruitt took over, you remember when Reggie Ragland made the statement that they don't fear us anymore?
Right. Yep. He sure did.
I know going into that. Yeah, he said they don't fear us anymore. They don't feel playing Bama now.
Yeah.
Well, after they played in 2016 with Pruitt, screw loose self, they really did not want to play Alabama defensively.
Right.
I really think that's what we're looking at this year, is where Golden I don't fear Golden. Nobody fears Golden unless they just scared he's going to spit on when he talks. But that's about it.
So let me ask you this: do you think that he may finally feel comfortable enough in his skin to be more aggressive, or do you think that that's just his overall personality, or has he been a little intimidated? Because that guy, I personally think he got the job long before he was expecting to get the job, Curtis, because I think Tosh Lapoy? I think Tosh Lapoy was supposed to be the guy, and we found out halfway through the season that Nick Saban replaced Tosh Lapoy with, and I don't think Tosh Lapoy was ready. I think Jeremy got that job at Tennessee as a result of they couldn't find some other people, and he ended up being the 4th, 5th candidate or something that they finally got to come. And I think Nick Saban, if there's ever been a time that Nick Saban was caught off guard, it was when Jeremy Pruitt got that job at Tennessee, and he didn't have his succession plan in place. But do you think it's Golden's personality, or has he been in over his head a little bit, and maybe this year he can come out of it?
Well, I do think he was in over his head originally, but I just don't think he has that nature of being a a person who just want to just push people face in the mud. I don't think he's a tactician. He's a tactician.
Okay.
And our defense gonna be like that. We're gonna hopefully we'll be technically sound. That's great. And hopefully we'll be understandable of what our concept as well as our plan is, and that's great. But I want to see somebody just get wild when they see that linebacker coming at them and just about wet their pants. That'll change the game.
Well, I mean, but we have now. I'm gonna tell you, we have those types of players. I think Will Anderson is that type of player. I think Christian Harris is that type of player, and I think Toa is that type of player for sure. And what I saw from Tim Smith last year, he seems to have a little bit of that in him. And so we have some of those guys at each level. I guess the question, back to your original point, is will they play different than the personality or persona of the defense coordinator, and you feel like they kind of play to whatever that persona is?
They play to that persona, and the only way I think that will change is just like the way Landon Dickerson made it change.
Okay.
Landon Dickerson was a dog.
Yes, he was.
Straight out dog. And the guys around him became dogs. Now, before Landon got there, it was just a bunch of very sound guys. They played great, but once Landon got there, they took on his mentality.
Yeah, I tell people quite often. I think, now I'm not saying Jedrick Wills would not have been a first-round pick because he was talented, but I think he became a lock as a high top-round pick because of his time spent playing beside Landon Dickerson. So without a doubt.
So true.
Yep.
I thought the same thing. It's just that JJ has a great understanding of the game, but when he got by Landon Dixon, it was like getting next to the guy in the dirty dozen. You just became nasty.
Yeah, and
took the game to the next level.
I know you're a big. I know you're a big defensive guy, but is the offense going to have that? Because that's probably with having a young team in terms of starts for Alabama and not having Landon Dickerson. Is that one of your concerns potentially for this offense as well?
Well, I think with the offense, it's hard to tell with our offense because I don't know a whole lot about O'Brien. I didn't see a whole lot of what he's done in the NFL. Just saw little bits and pieces of it.
Right.
And he had some guys up there that seem to take on individual personality, but his team didn't have a personality. You can say, oh, yeah, that's him. So it's hard to put the hand on with the offense. I think the offense is going to be driven as Bryce Young goes. But Bryce Young does not strike me as a guy who will sit there and have a fit with a referee or have a beat jaw jacking back over the line of scrimmage like some of these quarterbacks do at the middle linebacker. Knowing he ain't going to get hit anyway, but he'll still jaw jack with him.
Yeah.
But I just don't see that in Bryce, but I do think his play is going to have a big deal with the wide receiver base. And I think that's what we're going to see our boss made on offense. It's going to be how well we spread the field and he distributes that ball. It's not going to be a running attack that's going to just pound you to the ground. It's going to be a lot of moving that ball around, whether it's every now and then a quick dive or whether it's going to be a lead play off of the top or whether it's going to be those bubble screens. I love to see the bubble screens come back because Lane Kiffin just made that up.
Yeah, I mean what's his name? Blake Sims, went all the way to the top of the record books in yardage with with bubble screens. And so, yep. So
it made him a household name.
That's right. To
the left and the right.
And if you think about it, I don't know, is Jaleel Billingsley any bigger than Amari Cooper? Not much if he is. In terms, and he'd be a guy that hopefully he's going to be back, in good graces by Saturday, because I think that tight end position this year, with as many weapons as Alabama has on the outside, I think the tight end has a chance to have a special year as the tight ends had in a long, long time at Alabama. So we'll be watching that. What you think about the game? What's your thoughts on the game?
I really think the game is going to be kind of a muddy game for us. This first game offensively, I think the defense is going to play a good game. I still think we're going to give them about 17 points on defense. And I think we probably put about 35 on offense. I think we could possibly do more, but you know how Saban gets in these kind of games. He don't want to run it up on nobody and make them feel bad about themselves and hold their head down in front of their mom and all that kind of crap. I really do believe we're going to have a game where Saban just going to want to get as many players in there to play, because usually that first game, Saban loves to reward everybody for having a very, very strong offseason.
Right.
You said he wants everybody to have a chance to have some sort of reward. That's playing time. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot of guys get to play, and that's going to keep the score down on them.
All right, you got 35-17. How many yards you got for Mr. Young?
I got him throwing the ball for 276.
276. All right. That's the first official prediction of the year. That's from Curtis Lewis. Any other closing thoughts before I let you go, Curtis?
Well, only one. I wanted to ask your thoughts. Bill O'Brien, what was his signature thing in the pros, and what was it at Penn State? I don't know what he was known for.
I don't know that he has one, because he's had different styles of quarterbacks. He's had different styles of running backs. He made the decision to trade one of the best wide receivers as a general manager. So, hey, Joe, do you really have an idea of what he prefers to do? He coached Brady. So, I mean, he's done a little bit of everything and done it all pretty good. But I don't know that he has, like, this is what he does. Joe, do you have an answer on that?
Well, with the last couple of years with the Texans, he's been very run heavy and
right
option and read option kind of deal, and kind of using DeAndre Hopkins in isolation with the wide receiver position. But he traded away DeAndre Hopkins last year. He wanted another running back, and he was fired 4 weeks into the season. So
yeah. So I really do. Now I will give him this. He does. He seems to, and that's what Joe was just alluding to. He does seem to go with whatever his quarterback. He seems to follow his offense around his quarterback, and that's why I think they ran the ball a lot more. Even though to me Deshaun is a good passer, but at Penn State he kind of did both, and then of course, like I said, he was there with Brady, so he's pretty varied from his approach to the game. And of course, Nick Saban always says that they just gonna run his offense, but I think from what I've seen, he does like to run the ball. So having a young offense, Curtis, may have him lean more heavy run than at the beginning of the season than you would see. Is Curtis still there?
You think I'll play the Bryson? What he does best? Can you hear me?
Yeah. You said, do I think he'll play into what Bryce does best?
Yeah, it seems like Bryce is more of an RPO guy.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will. And, Curtis, when we were coming along, the offensive line was always better at run blocking early in the year and got better at pass blocking. With all these 7-on-7 tournaments and all this stuff that these guys do, they probably as far along in the pass protection. So you may see more of the RPO to help with the run game and read option to help with the run game, and then more passing early on. And Bryce is pretty good, supposedly, and great accuracy. So it'll be interesting to see. All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Have a good one. All right. All right. Well, let's get the break here. Went a little long on that segment. That's okay. I love interacting with our callers, our listeners, our chatters, our viewers, and you're welcome to be a part of the conversation at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904, the Taco Casa hotline open for business. Let's get your score predictions in, or you can post them on chat, and we'll get those incorporated into the conversation. The tiebreaker is Bryce Young's passing yards.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks, but we continue to track Tropical Storm Ida. Now moving inland, we expect heavy rain, gusty winds today with possible storms and tornadoes, so stay alert. Just 2 days remain in the hot August sales event at Townsend Nissan. Rebates and low interest rates means it's time to save at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Do you suffer from lower back pain, knee pain, foot pain, or fallen arches? Do you? If yes, just stop and write this magic word, G-Defy, G-D-E-F-Y. What is G-Defy? G-Defy is the footwear designed by Gravity Defier Medical Technology with the worldwide patented VersoShock sole. Their shoes are clinically shown to relieve pain by a double-blind clinical study conducted by Olive View UCLA Medical Center. You can try a pair for 30 days with free corrective fit orthotic inserts. If you're not satisfied, just return the shoes for a full refund and keep the free orthotics as a gift. Put an end to suffering. Save $20 and get free shipping from Gravity Defier when you go to gdefy.com/radio and use code RADIO. That's gdefy.com/radio, code RADIO. You have nothing to lose but your pain.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. The Martin Houston Show fan page on Facebook at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. And don't forget to download the Tide 109 app. And you can also listen to us live at Tide109.com. Inviting you to be a part of the conversation at 205-342-9904. Taco Casa hotline open for business, and would love to get you in on the score prediction contest. You can call us up and let us know that you are part of the program and get your score in and get a chance to win a Martin Houston Show mug and cap. That's going to be the prize for this week. If you get in and want to give us the score prediction with Bryce Young's passing yards as the tiebreaker. Curtis Lewis talking about this game. He came in at 35-17, Bama, with Bryce Young 276 in the air. I think insinuating that he'll have some yards on the ground as well. And Virgil Williams coming in at 38-10, Bama, with Bryce at 285. All right. Hey, Joe, as we were talking in that last segment, Alabama looking at playing Miami. In terms of modern football, and maybe ever, you can rank them whichever way. Where would you put these two dynasties in terms of their dominance, first in modern football and then overall?
Well, we're talking modern football. I just need a little clarification.
Yeah.
We're going 70s.
Yeah, I would say probably the last, God, now it's last 50 years, so I would say 60.
All right.
I mean, that would be, last 60 years, that would be the 60s.
Yeah, so you're looking at Miami, and you're looking at 01, you're looking at 89, 87, 80, and 91. In that stretch that you were referring to earlier in the program, had they beaten your Alabama Crimson Tide in 92, that would have been 4 and 6 years for the Miami Hurricanes. But outside of that, you're looking at 01 and 02 being very strong.
Yep.
The last 20 years, they've been at best. And prior to the 80s, prior to their stretch in the 80s, they really, were not very good either. But so you've got two really good, really bright spots, and yes, they're very bright. Does the two bright spots outweigh all the times in the desert? You kind of obviously Alabama's had different stretches with Coach Bryant and now Coach Saban and with Coach Stallings a little bit as well. Oh gosh, so I just don't think that Miami's in that tier of 60-year relevance.
Who do you think you put in there? Would it be the Nebraska team that was really, really good and then finally broke that glass ceiling and had a stretch where they won 3 out of 4 or some crazy number? They won. Who is Clemson there now? If you really think about consistency, has there been another team that has managed in multiple decades to have any more success than Miami?
Well, I think if you go further back, you're
Yeah.
going to see the longer streak with Oklahoma.
Yep.
Oklahoma for a long time, and I think they might still have the current record for most wins in a row.
40 something, I think, right?
Yeah. And then they ended up winning a couple national titles in the 50s as well. Oh man, Ohio State has, every couple decades they'll pop in and get a national title. They've got 2 now since I've been alive, so they're needing their third. I'm turning into my third decade, so they need their third. So I would probably have to stick with Oklahoma. I would be my pick. Just for the length of history. And then probably, I know it's blasphemous around here, but I'd probably say Notre Dame as well, based on the 40s and the time, the earliest days of college football. Obviously, they haven't really been a part of things very much with their last title in 88, 89.
Yeah.
So it's been a while for them as well. But in the early days, I don't know.
If you take AP, I would probably, if you take AP era in terms of football, I would probably agree Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Nebraska, and what was the other? Notre Dame. Yeah, kind of in Oklahoma. Those guys. I think with Miami, you'd have to say they probably have one of the best runs, not necessarily that they're the best dynasty. Go ahead.
Sure, yeah, I agree with you. The late 80s right there, or and right at the early 90s. And they were spectacular. Some of the best teams probably in college football history. And then you fast forward to 01 and 02. That 01 team that ended up getting screwed in the Ohio State game, that can stand up against some of the all-time teams as well.
Yeah, they had some serious talent, and so do you think that in if you're in the Miami locker room, are they having conversations about let's do to them what they did to our program. Let's go up and upset the apple cart. Are they bold enough to be having those conversations within their locker room? As far as, because I mean, this is, even though we were undefeated and had won 22 games in a row going into that Miami game, no one gave us a chance other than Sparky from Arkansas. Uh, you know, everybody else had written us off, and a lot of our fans, Joe, it wasn't just, a lot of the fans now jump on the bandwagon and say, oh man, I was for you guys, I was believing. No, we weren't hearing any love before that game, but privately and off the media set, we were talking, we can beat this team. With what we do, we can beat this team. Do you think that Miami team right now is saying, hey, this is our chance to redeem our program? And is this as vulnerable as Alabama's been in a long time with, 9 starters on offense for the first time?
I'm gonna say that no, the Miami players are not. Two reasons, Martin. One, because they're all 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, and they don't care at all about what happened in 1991. Because they weren't even born, most of them.
But see, that's where I would disagree with you. Just because you weren't born, we didn't know anything about the Alabama tradition before, but it was.
But in context of playing Alabama now in context of being Miami, we're the U. Yeah, I'm sure they're talking about 2001 and 1990 and 88 and 89. But in context of we got to beat Alabama and get revenge for something that happened 10 years before we were born.
Not revenge for what they. No, I think you misunderstand. Not for them to necessarily get revenge. I'm saying for them to catapult themselves. That, in other words, take it from what you said. Hey, we are the U. If we want to go back, because if I was a coach, I'd be saying, hey guys, this is a chance for us to play on a national stage. Everybody's watching. If you want to be the man, you have to beat the man. Alabama's the man. From that standpoint, not so much from a holding on to a revenge factor, because, as you said, that's sort of like the revenge factor of the Alabama guys. Now, when I talk about, I don't think the Alabama teams care as much about beating Auburn as Auburn guys do about beating Alabama, because Alabama has kind of grown past that. And I think that time has passed for the revenge of the Miami. But from a standpoint of, this is a chance for me to launch our program back to the limelight, that's the message I would be selling. That's why I was wondering if you thought maybe they're talking about it amongst themselves, but not publicly, of what this opportunity represents.
Sure, playing the number one team in the country and playing, the top powerhouse. I do think Manny Diaz, and I think the Eric King has got a little swag for the team. But the problem is, Martin, you can have all the swag you want. Once you get out on the field, okay, let's just say you gentleman at Northridge, Lee Eric Street. He's a big old running back. I can say all I want. I'm gonna attack Eric Street.
Yeah.
My chance to show I'm a defender and I can make plays.
Yeah.
Once I meet him in the hole, I'm getting my butt run over. And it doesn't matter how much swag I have and how much want to I have. Physically speaking, I don't match up with your running back. And physically speaking, Alabama and Miami don't match up either. It'll be just a matter of time.
Yeah, and that's why I think. Well, I tell you what. Let's get the break. I think early on you may see some of that reflected, but overall, I don't think it's gonna carry them very long. You listen to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 right here on your radio dial. Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Steady traffic, though, on McFarland coming in through Northport to Burley. I like drizzle falls, so slow down and be careful. If you see conditions, of course, give us a call. Right now, just 2 days left to take advantage of the hot August deals at Townsend Nissan. Extra rebates, low financing. You save a bundle at Townsend Nissan. I'm John Ray.
Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show. And I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower bed are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get the big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing LLC.
Walk-on athletes put everything they've got into the game. Walk-on Sports Bistro puts everything we've got into bringing you game day with a taste of Louisiana. Over 70 big screen TVs, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salad. Made from scratch with ingredients you can't help but crave. Now open in Tuscaloosa, 6785 Scallon Boulevard. Walk-ons.com. Walk-on Sports Bistro, more than a restaurant.
Dive into fall with everything to power your big ideas during Dell's Labor Day event. Save up to $300 on select Dell XPS and Alienware systems powered by Intel Core processors. Save on top accessories like Dell monitors, docks, and other popular tech essentials. Limited quantity deals go live each weekday through September 8th with free shipping on everything. Call 800-BUY-DELL for Labor Day event savings. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Now at Banana Republic Factory, 50 to 70% off almost everything, including fall-ready favorites. Discover essential sweaters, easy denim, and more from $14.99. Find your nearest store or shop online only at Banana Republic Factory.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show, and I want to remind you that the Alabama One Insurance 2-minute warning brought to you courtesy of Alabama One Insurance, alabamaoneinsurance.com. Review your policy, reduce your premium, and you relax knowing that you're properly covered. Want to invite you in to stop by and see us at our location on 15th Street, Veteran Memorial Parkway. Or if it's more convenient for you, just stop by alabamaoneinsurance.com and fill out all the information and request a quote there, and we'll be back in touch with you. Great opportunity for you to review, reduce, and relax. All right. Joe, we were going in the conversation, they were talking about the Miami team, and I'm sure that Manny Diaz is smart enough to try to find some type of incentive, some type of motivation for his team, and I think that potentially in prior years it may even have been more of a big deal, but having that returning quarterback who fully understands your system, who's a game changer, game breaker, mobile type guy would be of more concern. But does the fact, Joe, that we have not really talked a lot about a dual threat quarterback hurting Alabama, talk about the maturation of the defense and the way Nick Saban has changed the makeup of his players on the defensive side of the ball, that we're not even talking about that being why Alabama could lose this game.
Yep, I think that's a good point. You look at what they did last year with Kellen Mond. Probably was he the most dual threat quarterback they faced last year, and they outscored A&M 42-20 or something 24.
A healthy Justin Fields would have been probably better, but I don't think he was healthy. But so that would be the only thing there. But
the last dual threat, well, not dual threat, was the last quarterback who effectively used his legs while beating Alabama was Joe Burrow in Tuscaloosa. Not necessarily known as a as a scrambler, but used his legs effectively in that game.
Yeah, I would say that absolutely, and he did it. He did it not because he had great legs, but because he had weapons at every spot on the offensive side of the ball. And they'd have you chasing, four wide receivers and a running back, and all of a sudden, you didn't account for him. And so I would say, yeah, he's the last one to be effective. And maybe Miami feels like they can do some of that. I do think that he may represent Alabama's biggest challenge in this game, though. De'Aaron King, a veteran guy, and I think I like the way Saban said it. Really good quarterback, but also a great athlete playing the quarterback position, which I believe will become the definition of Bryce Young at Alabama. A really good quarterback that is an athlete versus the other way around. So we'll talk about that more on tomorrow. We'll talk about what's Alabama's biggest challenges going into this game. And also, we'll look at around the SEC a little bit. Not a lot of big games this weekend, but none bigger than Clemson versus Georgia, top 5 matchup. Alabama versus Miami. In those 4 teams, could we be watching the 4 teams that will represent their respective conferences in their conference championships? And then another question I'm going to be asking you this week: what's your best game day tradition? What do you do to get ready for the Alabama Crimson Tide? And did last year's COVID put a damper on that? Are you ready and excited to get back to your game day traditions? We'll be talking about that. We'll be getting score predictions. We'll be talking about players of the game. We'll have deal, no deal later in the week. All that and more right here on the Martin Houston Show. That's Joe Gaither. I'm Martin Houston. Thanks to the callers, listeners, chatters, and viewers, and all of those who make the Martin Houston Show possible. Have a blessed day. Remember this: trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. Roll Tide.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9.
Have a good one.
100.9 app. Tide 100.9.